So good morning, guys. So the Kadungla ride, that's what everyone wanted to know. So that took me about 4 days, starting from Hamta on Monday. So I started from Hamta by 8:30 a.m. where I reached Manali by around 9:30 or so. I was taking it slow, and once I reached Manali, I came to know that um, there was a bike, there was a Pulsar RS 200 that has got stuck in Tandi, which is about 100 or so kilometers from Manali on the way to Atal Tunnel, after Atal Tunnel. And so the mechanic here, my good friend Avi, he told me to get the RS 200 clutch plate, and I told him I'll go deliver it to at Tandi itself because there was no problem for me because it might take a delay for 1 hour or 2 hours, but the sad part is where person getting stuck because of no part. We have been there, right? So I don't want someone else to go through the same thing. So I decided I'll stay for another 1 or 2 hours to get the part, and I'll go deliver on my way to Tandi. And after delivering the part to at Tandi, I reached Tandi by 11:30, 12 o'clock. Around 1 o'clock, I reached by Jispa. So I knew I was already late. I had another 300, 365 kilometers to go. And that was what was worrying me a lot because it's one thing is like I've not ridden more than 400 kilometers in a day in the mountains because it's difficult, quite difficult. Plus, doing solo, it's tiring, but it's proper fun if you enjoy the solo riding experience. That's how it goes. And from Jispa, I started heading to Sarchu. And on the way, after Barlacha, there is Bharatpur Nala. It's like one of the difficult streams that you have to cross on the way to Leh. And that was pretty easy for me because I crossed by the afternoon time, not in the evening time. So it was easy. Like in the evening time, it's more difficult because the water flow increases and it'll be too dangerous for you to cross. And with the bike, rear tail rack broke on the way. And after that, surviving that, it was like complete off roads. Certain stretch, it was like proper good roads, blacktop. But rest of the place, it's like pure off road. You'll love it if you are an off road lover person. And all of a sudden, after Sarchu and on the way to Pang, there's a in this like middle section where it's like sand dunes, proper sand dune type. Like if you put your leg down, like the complete sand starts flying. So I took a break at Sarchu for having a chai, and there was like couple of bikers who are coming from Gujarat. Like there was one 790, one Z900, Tigers, Africa Twin, GS, all types of bikes are going this route, and it's so amazing to see those people riding through. So it's 3 o'clock at 2 right now, and there are a group of bikers coming from Leh or from Gujarat, and a lot of people coming from Kerala who is doing Leh and have a problem here. It's cracked, so I have to take it slow, and there's no tire at all, if you can see that. Let's go. I'm just doing with my Xpulse because it's pretty lightweight and you can just go boom 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 boom. And during that section we had crossed a landslide at Sarchu itself, and it was like construction was going on off the road, and I'd waited there for around 2 hours to get the landslide cleared, and that's when I come to know that there are people falling down, having falls in the sand dunes area. And I was like, I was taking slow because I had no proper tires on. Like the tires grip was completely worn out, and my tail rack is broken. I have to survive somehow. That was the only thing that was going on my mind. And from there, I kept slow. Like wherever it gets technical, I take it slow. Rest of the places I go in a medium pace, as the mood I have. Oh fuck! It's so fun! search to Bang was like in the evening time. It was getting cold, and I started passing through Nakila, Lachungla, and I had around 160, 180 kilometers in the evening to reach Leh. And because of all the delays in the morning time, I was like, I was sure I won't reach Leh by night. Because when I crossed Tanglangla, it was around 8:20 p.m. And it's so fucking cold, like very cold. I didn't have proper winter gear or anything. I used my rain liners, that's it. At 70,000 feet, there was less oxygen too. And so when I reached Pang around 7 o'clock, Tanglangla and Rumsi was around 110 kilometers from Pang. So there were a couple of bikers who have come with their tour people, right? And they're like not sure if they want to stay there or not, because one thing, it's like it's too high. Less oxygen is there. It's around 16,000, I guess. Um, and after that, he was like, one person did come and ask me like if he could join me. Like I told him I'll be riding for another 3 hours because there's another 100 kilometers to go. I won't be taking any breaks. I won't be stopping for anything. If you can keep up, keep up. That's it. I can't take responsibility on a solo ride like this, because one thing is like I have my timeline to get back to work. Secondly, if something happens to him, I'll feel bad about it. So I didn't want to take that or like be bad for him or for myself. And after having chai from Pang, around 7 p.m., I headed straight to Rumsi. It's a place just before the Leh border, Upshi, and it's like after Tanglangla, like just down to Tanglangla, around 10 kilometers or so. So, once I started from 7 o'clock, I reached Rumsi around 8:40 p.m. 1 hour 40 minutes to cover 110 kilometers. I don't know if the distance is wrong or the time is wrong. I don't know what happened, because this was crazy. I was like continuously riding. It was pitch dark, and the roads were really good. Certain roads were really, really good. It's like complete straight. I think it was through the Moray Plains, I guess. So after finding the stay in Brumsi, I was able to get a bed space there for 300 rupees, and I was the only person there, biker there. Rest, I have not seen any bikers passing through that time at the night time. So I reached Rumsi by 8:40, and I got good food here, coffee, Maggie, all it. It's very cold, sky full of stars. This has been a tiring ride because of the rack. It broke off. I mean, it's broken, and the fuel can keeps hitting my back when it takes a hump or it takes a hit. Let's see. I have to fix it somehow and get to Leh, around 80-85 kilometers to Leh for tomorrow. So and that's it. That's the first day was done. The next morning I started early, around 7 o'clock, 7:30, and I headed to 7:20. I started, and I headed to Leh, which is around 85, 90 kilometers from the place I stayed. So that took me about another 2 hours. So I reached Leh town by around 9:20 a.m. and from there I got the permits done, inner line permits. It's still a fake news that there was a news saying that there are no inner line permits required for Leh, Kardungla and all. But it's wrong actually. It's like for Kardungla, Hanley, Somorari, all the places you need inner line permit. So it's better to apply online and go for it. Instead of, for me, I had to wait till 10 o'clock because the DC office had to open. They only start by 10 o'clock. So I went to an agent, got my printouts, got my permits done for 400 rupees, and another 100 rupees for the agent. Got me the printout, everything, and that was sorted. So once the permit was done, I had stopped for coffee again. I could not get a proper food or anything in the morning or anything. I avoided it. I don't know why. And I straight away headed to Kadungla. It was around 30-35 kilometers from Leh, and that was like a steep climb. Definitely, the roads are really good, It's narrow, but it's really beautiful. The scenery, the landscapes are like totally different. There's a lot of greenery, and there's one fighter jet going from the side, and that was like crazy experience. And the two choppers going on the side, like proper military setup. It was like scary, but at the same time, it was so cool. So after reaching Kadungla top, there were completely a group of Malayalis, like 40 people group came from Kerala actually. They were on a group ride to Kadungla, and they were all standing in a queue, and I also joined them for the photo. Like, so reach Kadungla, look at the crowd to get a photo here, standing in queue. And I came down to North Pulu, where there's one another checkpost also where you have to give the permit, and that's where I had my food, first proper food, and that was like anda Maggie. So it was very costly. There around 100 or so for the one small cup of anda Maggie, and from there I had one coffee again, and I straight away headed to Diskit and Hundir, which was like off road. More like the Diskit Hundir road is there, the blacktop is there. So I filled my petrol at Diskit. Even my can also I got it filled, and from there headed to Pangong. And the road was so bloody crazy because I could not see any bikers when I was going heading to Pangong because stream crossings and a lot of off road. It's like from one mountain you coming down the whole way down, and it's like totally deserted. It's like a cold desert area. So on the way to Pangong, I tried to stay at a place called Man, where my friend Gavin suggested a place called Yokma Homestay. So I could not find the place, the Yokmo homestays, because I reached Pangong around 7 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. It was getting pitch dark, and the cams there were charging around 2,000 rupees per person, including dinner and breakfast. But I was not on a big budget or anything, and most of the camps were filled, so I could not. There was no way of negotiation there. And all of a sudden, when I was going back, because I could not find the way to Man, the main road was closed. There was only one off-road route, and no matter what, I could not find it because it's pitch dark, and I don't know, like it's a long road. When I was coming back to the main road to find some people to ask the route, there was a group, 5 bikes and 10 people from Calicut basically. So they are coming back after doing Kardungla. So found a group of Malayalis here, and I thought I'll stay with them because I can't find the route to Man. It's fucking closed, and this is like trail riding at night. Fuck yeah, man. Off-roading at night with a group of Malayalis. Good fun. And luckily there was also one local driver who showed us the way at night, and that was like a crazy off-road at night. It was like good experience. After that, once we reached our dhaba, we actually got a dhaba for 250 rupees per person in Spamek. And that was like a crazy deal that we got. Like 10 people, 10 of them, one of me, so 11 people, um, including dinner. That will be Maggie or dal chawal and chai in the morning for 250 rupees in Spamek. We were surprised because one thing, these guys didn't have money at all. Like for 10 people group had hard cash as about 500 rupees. I had about 1,000 rupees with me, and they had fuel cans. So what they did was like they bartered the fuel cans for the rent. I gave my 1,000 there, and I didn't realize I didn't have any money left after giving there. Around 500 rupees I had there. After giving there, around 1,500 rupees was there with me in the balance, and I gave 1,000 rupees there. So they told me they'll Google Pay me later. I'm like, okay, fine, no problem. It's a night thing. Let's chill out. And we did that. We had good time in Pangong. It was like a starry night, and the moon was like just over the lake, Pangong Lake, and it was so beautiful. Good morning, guys. Good morning from Pangong Lake. That's a beautiful lake. Here we stayed. Met a group of Malayalis, all from Calicut. It was a good experience. So let's go there and see what's happening. So in the morning, the next day morning, we got up, started pretty late, and we head to Pangong Lake to see the Three Idiots point, Spamak. We stayed in Spamak actually, so which is around 5 to 7 kilometers max. And from Spamak, after having a chai again in the morning, I decided to go back. Decided to go to back to Manali itself because I was on my return right from Pangong, Man, Merak, these route, right? It is like crazy off road, like completely. I had so much fun there in the off road, and it was so dangerous because if something happens, right, there is no one to help in the not even 5 kilometer distance, like nobody there. There are homestays there in different villages, but after you crossing that, it's like completely off road. You can like do rally kind of ride there. And it was like completely next to Bang Lake also, so it was so beautiful. And I actually Google Map showed me a way where I could go to Pang. Yeah, Pang was my destination for the day. So from Pangong, I headed through the off-road route. I actually went to a military base because that military base was next to the China border, and I was like, shit, am I gonna get arrested or something like that? But they were like pretty chilled out, and they told me this is not the way. You have to go in the other direction of the mountain. So if I'm going like this. I took a left because I saw a road. I saw a truck going that side. So I thought there will be a road there. I wanted to get on the road because it was like completely off road for kilometers and kilometers. It was never ending, and some parts it was like sand, and the sand doesn't work well with my tires. So from there, I didn't take the normal route. So the route people usually go through the road is through Pang, Karu, Sumatang, I guess, and from there they go down. Yeah, what I did was like completely I took the off-road route. I went to Chushul. I ended up going through a military base, and it's like top of a hill, a top of a mountain, going through a cliff or side, and there's like on the valley, there's like completely military base setup, like with motor, truck, heavy cams, everything, and because it's like just next to the China border. And once I was going through that, I was like getting all this fears. But the same time, I was feeling secure because they are there for our safety, right? And from Chushul, I went straight up ahead. So I took an road where even the locals didn't know. And there was a map shown in the Google also. Like there was one completely long route, also a short route. Okay, that's like going through another highest pass. So I ended up reaching a pass called Kaksamla, which is another 17,843 feet ka peak. And that was so beautiful because there were no people at all. Like only two army cars, military vehicles. Who I had met them, and there were two Malayalis there who had. We had a conversation at the top of 70,000 Kaksamla top, where oxygen is less. And all of a sudden, I meet the captain, and it was a good experience and talking about him and how the situation is going on right now. Kaksla, 70,000 feet. Met a few army people, very nice people. They gave me Fanta, soft drink. That's a sugar lake. Alright, sir, take care. And from Kaksamla, took a couple of photos and videos, and through the Shokar Lake, Kiger. So different lakes are there, and the color of the lakes is so beautiful. Some are like pure green, some are like pure dark blue with light blue inside of the lake. So that is like completely next level experience. You like ah. And from there, from top, I went down to Chumatang Mahi JK checkpost, which is on the way to Somorari. So, from Pangong to Somorari, it's around 250 kilometers, and it's like from Kaksamla after you reach down to the camp. I mean, sorry, the basic plain areas. It's like it starts the off road starts from there, and with the Somorari route was like crazy. It's like enjoyable off road if you had an adventure bike because Xpulse was like taking too much beat. It was taking too much hit, and because of the my rear rack broken, right? It was like paining for me also because every time it jumps off a rock or like it the tuck 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 sound comes on and it was like pretty annoying for me, but still I didn't mind it because I was like, fuck it, whatever happens happens. Let's see what comes. Let's see, we'll face that and somehow find a solution to it. 3:30 in the evening, and they were like, "Are you coming from Pangong?" Okay. I was like, "Yeah, I was doing solo." Because when you do solo, right, you don't have to wait for anybody. You don't lose a lot of time. It's all about how much breaks you take and the pace you can keep up on the off road. It's like a complete thing. And when I reached Somorari, I realized I had only 100 rupees left with me because the 500 rupees I had left with me, I had spent around 400 rupees for petrol again, and 100 rupees left. I had no lunch. I haven't had breakfast that day, just a chai. And once I reached Somorari, there was no restaurants because they said by 4 o'clock, 4:10 they close the restaurants. I'm like, shit, I'm screwed. I have no food. I have no internet, no nothing. Like I just had water in my bag. That's it. And finally, I found a small place in Somorari, and one Didi was running the place, and she was like, "Yeah, like omelette is there." I told her like I ordered one omelette and one coffee. It costed me around 80 rupees, and after that, it just I had 20 rupees with me on my purse, and I had the fuel was not full. I had another 100 kilometers to go, and I had to find money for the stay, the food, the dinner, the chai, and for some fuel because I want this route. There's no petrol pump at all. You will get for black, and you might have to pay around 110 to 150 rupees. That's the maximum paid. So I decided I'll go for it. And what she did was me like she gave me a bottle of water, 20 rupee ka bottle of water for free, and I was like, thank you so much because like people are very helpful. Like you are in trouble, they are ready to help, and it was like a next experience for me. It took another shortcut, and from there I decided another 70 kilometers, around 100 kilometers to go to Pang, and it's like completely off road. That off road got more crazy because it was more technical, and with technical, it was having sandy trails, and my bike doesn't spin well or like get gripped on the sand much properly. So I took it slow on those technical parts. Rest of the parts I started ripping off because I had to reach before night because by 7:30 it starts falling pitch dark. And I don't want to ride after dark. It's been 3 days continuously riding till 8:39, and it was tiring. And plus, completely off road with the rear rack broken, no proper tires. It's scary. So luckily, without any problem for the bike and for me, I reached a village called Tukje, which is around 10-15 kilometers just before Pang. and this is not on the route. This is not the road. So I took a completely off-road route where there are. I only saw one biker from Maharashtra day before the day, and he was also doing solo riding. So his plan was to stay in Somorari. So that is very short. It's a good place to stay. It's like India. Somorari is also like India-China border area, where if you go around 92 kilometers from Somorari, you will reach China border. And on the other side of the lake, you will see Chemur. That is also India's last village in the Indo-China border area. 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock in the evening, I reached Tukje, and there was a place where I could stay for the night. Night dhaba was there, one small dhaba where they like all Ladakhi people were there. Like even in Rumsi, I got the proper experience, Ladakhi experience, because there were locals there, and I had talked with them, and I have no idea about the language, but I still make out something somehow, and that was a good experience. And that so I'm staying at this place, this dhaba. That's my bike. That's Saurav, my who's doing mountaineering to that peak, and he gave me 1,000 rupees because I had no money. I had to Google Pay him. Night for the stay in Tukje costed me around 350 rupees, including dinner, breakfast, chai, and stay. So that's how cheap it is if you're going for a solo riding, backpacking, or like in a stay in a dhaba kind of place. And luckily, I found a guy from Delhi. He was in an HR car. He was on a mountaineering expedition for last 1 month. He and his friend Harshad. Saurabh was his name. So I told him my situation, and he's like, he gave me 1,000 rupees. Keep it. As he asked me a couple of times, like, is 1,000 rupees just enough for you? I said, like, yeah, I'll try to manage till the next point. So the first point is sorted, right? So the first obstacle is cleared. So on to the next one. Once it comes, you can start thinking about it. And he gave me 1,000 rupees. I told him I'll Google Pay him the next day when I get the internet. So we had a good chat, everything, and I had tukpa for dinner for the first time, and it was like proper Ladakhi tukpa. And we had a good time with good conversation with the locals there, and call it night for the day. The fourth day was from Tukje village. I thought of taking slow because it was around 310 kilometers. 310, 320 kilometers from Tukje to Manali. So this again, I have had completely off-road routes to take, because around the first 20 kilometers it was like completely off-road. But I had a road. The Google map showed a road where I can go like this way, like a U. And once I reach the top of mountain, I'm seeing the road, the off-road route. One trail is going there, like cutting straight to the other side of the mountain. So I thought, yeah, why not? Well, I'll go for it. Fuck it, whatever happens, let's see. So from this mountain, went down through the trail route, and I reached the base. So it's like completely surrounded by mountains. So again, there's a mountain there. So I went to the top of the mountain to see if there is a road. Unfortunately, there was no road. There was only a trail, and there was no people there. I was like, shit, I'm screwed. I have less petrol. What am I doing right now? Less money, everything. And so from that side, again, I went down to the right side because I could see that if this mountain ends, I can like cover through this way. So that's what I had in my mind. And from there, I went to the right again, to the side, to get on the road, but still I was completely on the trail itself. And from there, once this mountain on the left side mountain was cleared, right, like I went ahead of that mountain, I could see another road, another trail completely so far away, where it's like I can see a truck going from that. So I decided I'll go for it. Fuck it, I'll go for it. It's like completely sand dune kind of area, like tire keeps spinning, and it was like shit. I was like, it was a bad mistake. But you don't regret your choices you make. Showing that route, അങ്ങും കുറേ പോകുന്നുണ്ട്. ഞാൻ ട്രക്ക് കൊണ്ടുകൊണ്ട് ഈ റൂട്ടിനെ പിടിക്കാൻ കുറച്ചു. ടയറില്ലാത്തതുകൊണ്ട് നല്ല സീനാണ്. grip കിട്ടുന്നില്ല. That's sweet. The only thing matters is that you survive the whole thing. And this was like a proper survival thing for me. Because the one, three things like I had no proper food. Like only I could have omelette, one omelette a day, or a Maggie, or a bread omelette, and the next food will be at night. Nothing else. I'm running on coffee, chai, and from the off-road route, I reached Moray Plains, very beautiful place. And from Moray Plains, it's completely once I reached the road, it was like completely good black top. And from Moray Plains, I did. Beautiful. I'm the only one on the road. I reached Pang. I didn't take a stop at Pang because I didn't want to waste any time. Like one thing, I had no money, and just after Pang, I met another three riders from Karnataka who were like two people were on Tiger and one person was in Africa Twin. So again, we had a conversation. They're also in Bangalore. They've been riding all the way from Bangalore and they'll be going back after the Kadungla trip. And they saw me doing solo, and they gave me money and fuel. Like they gave me 1,000 rupees and of fuel from the backup vehicle. Also, they gave me fuel. Like I could reach that Tanti to the next petrol pump. That's around 200 kilometers from there. There, we had a good conversation. We were going to Kadungla, wished them a good trip, and I started my return journey. And from Pang, Sarchu, that route, it was like completely again off roads. Again, landslide happened through like from you come down through the Gata loops after Pang. Pang is the where the highest transit camp is. It's around 15,000 feet, I guess. And from there, Pang to Sarchu, it's like off road. So it's a certain place, it's like completely off road. And the shortcut to Sarchu and the Bunne, see now, ഇതാണ് വഴി. എന്താ ടയർ ഇല്ലാത്തതുകൊണ്ട് പിന്നെ ഒന്നും പേടിക്കാനില്ല, അങ്ങ് പോയിക്കോളൂ. There was a landslide happening after the Gata loops, and even when we are going to the church, like Pang side through the Gata loops, you will face again the construction is going on there. Couple of hours got delayed there, so this time only half an hour got delayed on my return. So I met another two bikers from Tamil Nadu. So from there, after the landslide got cleared, I reached Jispa around. I reached Barlacha by around 1:30. Barlacha again, the crossing is there. Bharatpur Nala is there. That is also like in the afternoon time, right? It was less water, not much people, but there were cars and trucks. Cars were getting stuck there. Let's go. From that was easy for me because of the water level was too low. And from Barlacha I reached Jispa around 2:30 or ish, 1 hour to reach Jispa. From there I had proper food because I knew I was back to network, because that's a proper like the last place where you can get network for Geo. And after that you won't get proper network if you're going to Leh. After Jispa, I had a good time, chilled out myself. From Jispa, went back to Tanti and back to Manali, and so just crossed Atal Tunnel. So this is the mood. Fuck yeah, man. Katta goda. Finally reached Hamta in the morning. This was like a crazy experience because I have never faced an issue where I run out of money during a trip, because I always pre-plan myself and keep everything in something for an emergency sake as a backup. But this thing happened and I was like so surprised that people are ready to help. It was like a heartwarming experience, and it's like proper survival kind of experience for me, because the one is the food. I was not having proper food, and but I was not having any problems because I knew, like, if it was like completely off roads, if I have heavy food, it won't be so good for me. It won't end good for me. So I decided to eat light and drink more chai or coffee like that. It's a wrong thing to do if you are on a proper ride. If you are on a tour, have your breakfast, lunch, dinner properly, and take your breaks. That's the best thing to do. But for me, that doesn't work. The ideal Ladakh trip would be having proper fuel, and after, last stop, if you're starting from Manali, you have to get the petrol filled in Tandi, and from there, there's no petrol pump till Leh, just before, like around 30 kilometers before Leh. You won't get any petrol, so better to carry fuel cans, extra money for sure, and plan your break so that you, if you're doing Manali Leh in a day, if you start early, you can do it. That you can reach in the evening, but be careful. It's the mountains. If you are limited on time, just then only do it. Why risk it? And otherwise, enjoy the whole ride. Take breaks. Take different photos. Take and embrace the view, and like that's the way you should go. And once you reach Leh, you have to get a postpaid SIM from there, or if you have a postpaid SIM, then it'll be fine. Skit Thunder side, there was network because one guy messaged me from there who had met on the road, like at Dacha checkpost. I met a lot of really, really good people. It's their first time. For some, it's a regular thing, and they're on to the next thing like that. And it's amazing. Like the trust I put in the Himalayas was like I have not put trust on anybody like that. Like I don't know, like it had a mighty power to it because I was doing solo. There was a lot of fear hitting me. Like if something happens, what would I do? Like what if my tire burst in the middle of the on the off-road stretch, and where will I go? How many kilometers will I walk at what time? And what if something happens? There's nobody to help. No mechanic, no shop, nothing. So everything was going on my mind, and I somehow, like, I usually listen to music to keep myself awake and active. And basically, the roads, like certain roads, when I see the roads or when I see off roads, I get excited, or like that's what keeps me going. Like, okay, I'll go for more, I'll do more, I'll complete some more. And that's the way I did. And I really enjoyed it because I it was like a fast paced ride for me. I wanted to give a stay in Leh, explore the local culture there, but I'll keep that for the next time. So I have time. I'm still here in Manali. I don't know when I'm going back to Kerala or anything. Like this was all sudden plan. I told my mom I'll be back in 1 month. Well, this is my 6 month ride now here in Manali doing work from home. It's been a great journey, and this is one next level experience.